Hey everyone, Austin here again with another quick play. Continuing our spooky themed videos, we are playing more Castlevania. I think that's actually all I've done this month, is just play Castlevania. This is Dracula X. This is a late release Super Nintendo game, loosely based on Dracula X Rondo of Blood from the PC Engine Duo, which was for such a long time was a Japanese exclusive, but it has since thankfully finally been brought over to more modern platforms. As has this one. This was actually in one of the Castlevania collections on modern systems. Funny enough, packaged with Game Boy Advance Castlevania games, which play nothing like this. Well, they sort of play something like it, but, you know, they're not linear Vanias like this one is. But yeah, this is a interesting one. It could be tough, but it is still pretty straightforward, and I'd say it's not nearly as fleshed out as something like Super Castlevania. It doesn't take as long to go through. And there are some interesting twists, though. You do have some alternating pathways that you can take. I don't know if we're going to actually be able to do that, but we'll try. I actually haven't played this game in a while, so much like my Castlevania Bloodlines quick play recently, we're going to be going into this kind of rusty, and we're just going to see what happens here. So yeah, for anybody new to my channel, this is my quick play series. It's a really lazy video style where I basically just kick back, relax, and play a game and see what we can do with it. I'm very comfortable with the Castlevania series in general. It's my favorite video game franchise of all time, and especially the old ones from the 8 and 16-bit era. I have played into the ground, so I'm generally pretty comfortable with these games, even if I go into them rusty. Even this game has a notoriously difficult final boss, but even there, I think I'll probably end up doing fine. So yeah, welcome, and kick back, relax, and hopefully enjoy some Castlevania Dracula X for Super Nintendo. Let's go ahead and, well, I was going to say hit the start button. For some reason, you can't actually override that animation. Yeah, we just hit the B button there and hit new game. We do have a little bit of a map screen, which is kind of neat. It's not too fleshed out though, but it does kind of tell you where you are in in the grand scheme of things in terms of the world. So we start off in the town here, and this actually has the same music theme as the town theme in Dracula X Rondo of Blood for PC Engine Duo. And that is one thing that is actually really great about Super Nintendo Dracula X, is that the soundtrack kicks. Like, it's got a very good soundtrack. And definitely one that, like, I could just listen to on its own. I mean, that's a lot of Castlevania soundtracks, but this one in particular, it, like, is really, really nice. So Konami did a great job using the SNES's sound hardware, its sample-based sound hardware, to create just awesome sounds, and it just sounds great. Whoa, what did I just do there? I fell through the stairs. So kind of like in Bloodlines and Castlevania 4, you can latch on to staircases. You just hold up when you land on it. And because I haven't played this in a little while, it might take me a little bit to get used to the whip mechanics. There's also a backflip you can do as well. You just double tap jump. It does have its uses, especially if you want to sort of move backwards and still attack in the opposite direction, so that's very handy. There is wall meat in this, so chicken or whatever, and I'm pretty sure one of those candles down below had a health refill, so a wall meat. Not in a wall, I guess you can call it candle meat. But, yeah, so it's good to know where those are, too, if you lose health. There are very specific moments in this game where there are health refills, and it's very good to know where those are, because some parts in this game can be quite tricky, especially if you're new to this game. And I actually just got the boomerang. I actually don't want that. I actually prefer the axe in this game. The boomerang is very good, don't get me wrong, but I definitely prefer the axe. And for anybody wondering, your sub-weapons in this game you activate by pressing up and attack, just like classic NES Castlevania. So, both Rondo of Blood and this utilize that system again, whereas Castlevania 4 and Bloodlines actually ended up, you know, having dedicated buttons to use your sub-weapons. And in Castlevania Bloodlines in particular, that was really cool because there were 2 different ways you could use your sub-weapons. It was so cool. I'm still kind of like high off playing Castlevania Bloodlines the other day. Like, I really enjoyed that playthrough. It was so good to revisit that game. Yeah, this is our first boss. He likes to shoot fireballs onto the ground, and this is why I like the axe. It's just got crazy reach, and as you can see, this guy likes to jump all over the place. So, and when he goes off screen like that, it can be a little difficult to avoid him. Like, he tries to jump in at you, but you know, he'll end up hitting you, most likely. Yep, I hate it when he does that. Now, you'll also probably notice that this game barely has any invincibility frames. So, that can be a little tricky. That's one of the things that a lot of people complain about with Dracula X in particular, but it also happens in Rondo of Blood. Is basically you'll take a hit and an enemy will still be on top of you, and then you'll take another hit. It's like you can't avoid it. Whereas in classic Castlevania, you get knocked back a lot, like really far. And, you know, that can be annoying on platforming sections, but what ends up happening there is it at least bounces you off of enemies so you don't take a second hit back to back. But in Dracula X here, nope. You don't get knocked back that far, and a lot of times you'll take a hit, and you'll still be on top of the enemy, and you'll take another hit, and it's just very frustrating. I'm gonna go ahead and just use the boomerang here, or we'll call it the cross. Watch out for these platforms, they drop. Now this can be a tricky section, so sometimes you can, you know, just use your cross here like this, which can help. Now, just like in classic Castlevania, I mean, technically this is classic Castlevania at this point, but when I think classic Castlevania, I think the 8-bit entries. This is technically a really old game by this point. We're getting close to this being 30 years old as of doing this video. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to describe these games differently, because it is absolutely classic Castlevania at this point. Like the NES Castlevanias, you can actually throw multiple projectiles back to back, but there's a caveat. So in classic NES Castlevania, you had to get shot doublers. In Dracula X for Super Nintendo, whether you can throw 2 or 3 back to back is wholly dependent on how many hearts you have. Now I forget the exact, like, you know, minimum requirement, but, you know, I've got 60, so I'm able to throw 3 back to back. If anybody knows the exact numbers, feel free to chime in the comments down below and let me know. But basically what I do in this game is I just try to hold on to as many hearts as I can. I try to use my whip as much as possible. That way, I can, you know, throw multiple projectiles back to back when I really need to. So I just got a big heart. That is 5 hearts. Hearts are ammunition for anybody tuning in that has never played a Castlevania before for some weird, random, odd reason. I figure most of you guys watching this have played Castlevania and probably already understand a lot of the mechanics. I've been covering Castlevania for a very long time. Castlevania is actually probably the most covered thing on my channel. I probably have over 100 Castlevania videos. That's probably not an exaggeration, actually. So, basically, I think a lot of my regular viewers actually found me from Castlevania. And so, most of you guys watching probably already know all this stuff. Go ahead, just use my axe there. Again, it's got great reach, which is one reason I actually prefer it over the cross or the boomerang. Now, I do want to show you guys something. This is extremely good to know. And I am going to be a little hypercritical here. I do kind of wish this wasn't a thing. But if you go off screen and you come back, basically everything just respawns. And the reason that's significant is, oh hey, more meats. So if you're low on health, you don't have to go to the boss fight that's on the other side of this screen. You can go back down that staircase and then come back up and refill your health again. But I'm gonna go ahead and just fight the boss and not do that again. So there are actually multiple points in this game where you can do that. And it's neat. I like having, you know, that little bit of buffer. But it also kind of takes the edge off. And I like there being edge in my Castlevania games. I like there being some panic scenarios where, like, oh man, I've got no health and I need to fight this boss. You know, we had a couple of those moments in my Castlevania 1 playthrough, my quick play from earlier this month. And it was like, I think it was, oh man, what boss was it? I think it was like the Grim Reaper. I had lost almost all my health, and I ended up still beating the fight. No, that was actually a bad example, because we went into the fight with full health, but it was one fight where we did not have full health. Oh no, it was Castlevania Bloodlines. I went into like, I want to say like it was the Grim Reaper fight or something. I had no health, and I ended up coming out. No. It was the butterfly boss. Yeah, second to last level. We went through that whole second half of that level with no health. Like one hit would have killed me, and that makes it intense, but it also makes it supremely satisfying when you can get through levels like that. On a crunch, basically. So this game does have some parts where, you know, it kind of minimizes the potential crunch that you know, you might have to experience. So yeah, some more great music here. This is where the game starts getting a little vertical. It's got quite a few vertical sections, which a lot of Castlevanias had that. But this one, it just feels a little different. Its vertical sections feel very, man, what's the term? They feel very, scattered? I don't know. And I'm actually in a really bad position right now. This is not good. I have to actually start to focus. So the bone pillars in this, they do turn around. Do they? Yeah, they turn around like in Bloodlines, which is interesting. But unlike Bloodlines, you can actually hit both of them at once. You just do a standing whip. But sometimes you can just use them as platforms to get to other parts of the game easier. There are some sequence breaks you can do by using things like the bone pillars. You just jump on top of their heads and then you backflip to a higher platform. Yeah, so that was a really bad death. That was just really, really bad. But it's okay. It's not a big deal. If we hit start here, we can actually see our lives. I still have 3 lives left. It's the only time you see your life count in this is when you pause the game. Same with your score. You do actually get points, and you do actually get extra lives from points as well. So it is good to actually kill everything in this game because of the points and potential extra lives. So if you're trying to get the coveted 1 credit clear, which is basically beating the game without continuing, then, you know, you want as many lives as you know, you can get. It makes that goal and challenge a lot easier. So I need to actually be using my axe. I'm not really paying attention right now. I'm just kind of talking to myself and getting lost in the thoughts in my head. Which is not good in a game like this. Castlevania games in particular are games where you have to commit to all your attacks, all your movements, all that stuff, and so you really have to be on point and you have to be focused. And these are not games that, you know, Castlevania games I don't think are as hard as people make them out to be, but because of the required commitment and the required focus, they can absolutely be challenging. You have to... Oh, man. I'm just getting lost in myself right now. What am I doing? I was doing so well in the beginning, and here I can't even focus. Oh, jeez. I guess what I wanted to say is that, never mind. I'm just gonna stop. I'm trying to, like, force talk, and it's just not working, so I'm just gonna shut up. What I do like to do here, though, is duck. The reason you want to do that is when you duck and you take a hit, there's no knockback. That's actually an extremely important mechanic in this. Also, this jump right here, I don't like how if you go off the screen, it's almost like you're in water or something. Like your movement just stops, kind of like that. So you have to actually jump far off that ledge. Otherwise, it's easy to miss that jump, and you'll actually fall into that water. So this is a part right here where you can actually take the bone pillar and then just jump straight up. Wow, you don't even have to backflip. Holy crap, that is just way too easy. Alright, we'll go ahead and do it. I think I actually would have preferred going to the other side. There's either like wall meat or an extra life or something like that. I am actually kind of in a bad position right now. I actually wanted the axe, but because I wasn't paying attention, I actually don't have it. And the axe is actually really important for this part. I'll try to make it as far over to the left as possible, but this is one of those parts in the game where there are alternate pathways. And okay, we just got an axe, so that's good. This is why you want the axe. It's for all these bone pillars on the left-hand side there. So basically what happens here is if I can get myself a key, and defeat the boss successfully, I can take that key to another level and then unlock a character, which will help me get the best ending in the game. It will also help me unlock another alternate path, which gets me to a secret level. Let's see if I can just jump down here like this. Yep, that works fine. Not ideal, but it's fine. I have to be careful. We got Medusa heads. I'm not sure if we're going to have any more bone pillars here. Okay, alright, good stuff. We actually made it all the way across. So if I fall down there, I go to an alternate route, which is the route that most people see in this game. The secret route is a lot harder to achieve, and I might not even fully achieve it, because not only... there we go, there's our key. We need to take this key. Not only is there an alternate level here that we have to go to, but there's another alternate level outside of that, within the alternate level that we have to unlock. So it can be a little difficult to do that. Is he gonna jump? He's gonna jump. Yep. Oh, I didn't think that was gonna hit me. Is he gonna jump? Okay. Let's come over to this side. There might be some health. Let's see. Yes. Okay, good. Now, there is this thing called an item crash in the game. You can press the X button, and if you have a normal sub-weapon, you'll do a special attack, and it utilizes a lot of hearts. So I don't do the item crash very often, but it can be good to get you out of harm's way, especially with the key. If you item crash with the key, you are actually invincible for a short period. Okay, please die. Okay, good. I was getting, I was not playing too seriously there, so I was getting really close to dying, which would have been bad. I think it actually would have checkpointed me back. I still would have been able to get the key again, so maybe it actually wouldn't have been the worst thing ever. But I'd rather not die if I can avoid it. Alright, alternate stage number 1. Alright, so succeeding at this stage, if I remember correctly, is heavily based on utilizing your item crash with the key. There are some tough enemies you have to deal with. This is definitely a harder level. It's one of the harder levels in the game, in my opinion. At least trying to get through it with just the key. So I have to take this key and take it to the end of the level. So I have no real sub-weapons now, but look at what I'm doing. I'm using the item crash constantly, and what's great about the key's item crash is it doesn't utilize hearts. So I can really just milk this all day long, and I'm going to. So I would like to see the alternate secret level. It's been a long time since I've been to it, so that would be really cool to show off here. I have multiple Let's Plays of this game where I've shown off, I think, every route in the game. So, you know, in case I don't get it here, feel free to check out those videos if you want to see what, you know, the other alternate secret level is like. It's probably one of the coolest levels in the game, actually, both visually and sound-wise. It's got, you know, a great soundtrack, too. Again, the whole soundtrack of this game, I think, is, like, really solid. It's got just great music. Alright, so 90 hearts. Oh, I was gonna say, still haven't taken a hit. I do believe there's gonna be some wall meat later on in this level. So, we will see. Now, the bats in this game, they don't move very fast like they do in, like, the NES Castlevania games or Castlevania 4. But they can still be irritating, and if you don't take your time, and if you don't pay attention, you can do exactly what I did. You know, you try to jump over a pit, and you end up running into a bat because you weren't patient enough. So this is actually where the key item crash can be really handy. Whee! And I landed right on top of that guy, which is not good. Can I jump over? Okay, this is not looking good. I'm gonna try to backflip. There's my meat. Item crash. You just item crash right through it. Alright, good. I feel a little bit better now because we got that meat. We found that meat. We got some health back. Now there's a locked door up there. So what I'm going to do is actually try to unlock it. There we go. And there's Maria. Unfortunately, Maria is not a playable character in this game. And then we have to find Annette as well. And I still have the key. So that's door number 1. Again, utilize that item crash. It's very handy here. Okay, very tight jump. But look at all those guys! I just wanted to get out of that room. Those guys were scaring me. Alright, so we have a flea man here. And I'm just gonna try to take my time. And we have some red skeletons. I like how they form and fall apart in this one. It's just a little bit different from, you know, like Bloodlines and Castlevania 4 and games like that. Man, this is quite tricky with just the key. Let's actually come down here and make sure, okay, no wall meat in there. A lot of times, Dracula X likes to put wall meat in like these little staircase sections. Okay, that's actually way too high up. I need an axe for that. Actually, I could probably smack it like this. Yeah, it's just money. So, getting a little low on health again, unfortunately. And there's another locked door. Don't want that axe right now. I need my key. And I think that's it. I think this actually takes me to my alternate level. Alternate level. So this is awesome. I actually haven't been here in quite a long time. This is a really cool level that not many people get to see when they play this game. Because it's, I mean, as you saw, it's pretty tough carrying the key all the way to the end. It really is. Just look at those graphics. Looks so nice. I don't think this game is like quite the looker compared to something like Castlevania 4. There are a lot of like dull sections in this game. And a lot of rooms that just feel flat with, you know, like no background scrolling or anything. But some levels like this really are standout for sure. Alright, so I don't have to worry about the key anymore, so now we can start playing like normal. Now there is a secret place we have to find here. And look at that, there's our bone dragon. Haven't seen a bone dragon in a little while now. I like how the bone dragons in this actually drop hearts, just like classic NES Castlevania. Alright, so you have to be really careful here. It's basically an endless pit down below. And I still have 99 hearts because, you know, I wasn't using any hearts with the key. Notice that I'm not just killing everything I see. I'm just moving forward. Lots of enemies. I'm just gonna, you know, just not worry about them. And I just took a hit there, and that's fine. I just want to get up here as fast as possible. Item crash is probably not a bad idea, because I have so many hearts. Yep, that worked out really well, actually. Let's see. Come in here. Item crash. I don't want to be on top of those spikes when I item crash. I'll probably take a hit when I drop. All right, so this upcoming section here, we actually have to smack this. The water drains. Can I just fall down here? Oh, nice. And we just come through here, and this is where Annette is, I believe. That's actually really awesome. I haven't gotten the best ending in this in quite some time now. So for being rusty and having to remember, remember this stuff on the fly, that's pretty good. It looks like we also got all of our health back too. Very nice. I'm very happy about that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this level. Really cool level. And this actually has a boss from Rondo of Blood. So there are some shared bosses between the two games. Again, this is loosely based on Rondo of Blood. It's not a port of it. It is actually a very different game overall, but it has a lot of the same character sprites and enemy sprites, and I hate it when that happens. Stupid crow. But that's what I get for just, like, jumping without paying attention. It's exactly what I'm talking about in this game. And that type of stuff will really grind people's gears when they play, but you gotta remember, you just gotta take your time and analyze your situation, and then that's it. Okay, so now I know that the crow's there. All I had to do was just throw an axe. If I had just stopped and looked across the gap, I wouldn't have died. So that's where a lot of Castlevania's, you know, quote-unquote difficulty comes from. It's just, you know, analyzing your surroundings. Now, some Castlevanias are more intense than others. Like, I do find the first Castlevania to be a bit busier than, say, this game. You know, the original Castlevania oftentimes have, you know, multiple enemies to deal with at once. They can be really fast, too. Things can get overwhelming, especially with, like, the hunchbacks and harpies. But in this game in particular, you know, it's like, just take your time. Oh, I went the wrong way. But yeah, this is actually the alternate stage 1 boss in Rondo of Blood. And he looks a little bit different here. Oh my god, man, what am I doing? I'd say he's a little bit tougher in this one. And we might end up dying here. I'm not... Oh, jeez, man. Yeah, he's definitely more challenging in this one. He's actually a really easy boss in Rondo of Blood. Yeah, and I don't think he goes up as high in Rondo of Blood either. I'm gonna use the item crash because I don't trust this pattern. And I still took a hit. Amazing. Yeah. I feel like there's nothing I can do on that pattern, which is weird. He doesn't have, I think, that, like, long swooping pattern in Rondo of Blood. He's got the one where he wraps around constantly, but in Rondo of Blood in particular, you can just walk in between, you know, the parts that are wrapping around, and you just kind of move along with him. And I almost did it again. See? Wasn't paying attention. See? Oh, and again, I almost jumped straight into that merman. This is what I'm talking about. Like, this is a great... I think this is a great, like, example for you guys that maybe haven't been playing these games this long. I can teach you what not to do. In some videos, I can teach you what to do. In other videos, I can teach you what not to do. I'm gonna actually switch over to the cross for this one. Yeah, I did want to actually clarify. I was talking about how this compares to Rondo of Blood. Again, it is loosely based on it. There are a lot of similarities, but there are a lot of differences too. See, you just walk in between like that. That's what you have to do. Oh man, and his arc in this one is so much longer than it is in Rondo. How the hell are you supposed to avoid that? Maybe I have to... Oh, I have an idea actually. I'm thinking maybe I have to be a... Yeah... Wow, I just learned something. Okay. Yeah. Nope, still took a hit. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that arc is just crazy long. You can't really do anything unless... I don't know. Okay, there we go. Yeah, you sit up here and you're safe. Yeah, looks like you're safe up here. Oh, I knew that was gonna happen. So what happened is I whipped, but I also ducked. And there is delay in this game. It's kind of one thing I don't like about it, is when you duck, there is, you know, a few frame delay between getting up and being able to turn around. Whereas in, like, the original Castlevania for NES, it's, your ducking is, like, the same frame. It feels like it's instantaneous, and same with getting up. So you can duck and move in the other direction really quickly. But in this, there's a slight delay, and if you don't, you know, if you don't take that into account, when an enemy is close to being right on top of you, you're probably going to take a hit. And that's exactly what happens. But I think we'll get it this time. Not only know that there's a safe spot, like, I think we'll be fine. And they're giving me the stopwatch here. I'm almost kind of curious if it works on this boss fight. I've always wondered if the stopwatch actually works on certain boss fights in this game. Kind of like the first Castlevania. First Castlevania, you could use the stopwatch on both the vampire bat in the beginning and Medusa. So there's, you know, 2 bosses you can freeze with the stopwatch in that game. And I've always been curious if you can do that in Rondo of Blood or Dracula X. Yeah, it's actually kind of crazy if I can literally just sit here. Yeah, see, that's a new strategy to me. I had no idea. I've always gone into the middle of the arena. Obviously, this strategy will probably take longer. Oh, sneaky. He popped in from the left. That was just mean. Mean game, mean. I guess one thing I can do is kind of manipulate where he spawns by maybe coming on over here. Wow, yeah, so he's getting really sneaky now, and he's spawning from off the screen, which I do not like. I don't like that at all. But, you know, I guess it's fair, because I am being kind of cheap right now. Oh, so I can actually... Okay. Very good to know. So I can actually jump up here without having to backflip. Nice. That was a good, like, 1-2 punch. Yeah, some bosses in this game have the panic desperation move at the end. Only does a teensy tiny bit of damage. Or does it even do damage? I don't know. In Rondo of Blood, I believe, if you perfect a boss, like you do it without taking a hit, and you dodge their panic attack, desperation move, you get an extra life. Which is kind of interesting. Alright. Clock Tower. Yep, she got an extra life for that too, which is nice. And I still have 3 lives despite dying a bunch. I'm actually quite surprised. And we got the theme, the beginning, or beginning, which is the first stage theme from Castlevania 3, which is another quick play I'm gonna do. And I think what I'm going to do is try to play through that with, I'm gonna try to do the Alucard route. I usually do the Sypho route. But I think a lot of people would find it interesting getting through the Alucard's route instead. Because it has some of the more notoriously difficult stages compared to the Sypho route. So stay tuned for that. Whoa. That is one thing I like about this game, though. You can actually still hurt enemies from the back of your whip, like as you're winding up to swing. It's pretty cool. So when these guys lose their shields, you can actually just shoot them with projectiles from a distance. And this is another section where I can just sequence break. It's like, bye. That is one thing I wish they had tweaked in this game is, you know, I love being able to sequence break, but I want there to be some kind of, like, twist to it. Like, there has to be a challenge. Or I have to feel clever. I don't feel clever when there's just moving platforms falling down the screen right in front of me that I can just hop up. So I'm not a fan of how this game handles or implements sequence breaking. I definitely much prefer the sequence breaking in games like the original Castlevania, where you have to cleverly damage boost, you know, things like that. Same with Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden 2 in particular on NES. There's a few points, like in one of the water levels, you know, you just bounce off an enemy from down below and propel yourself up high. And that's something that you feel very clever about. But doing just jumping up platforms easily in this is not, it doesn't make me feel smart, you know? It doesn't make me feel like I'm doing anything special. Alright, so this could be a little bit of a tricky part. These gears do move, they do propel you in the direction that they are moving. Oh, I was trying to backflip over that guy. These guys are a pain. Now, something I haven't explained yet, if you hold down the attack button, you can actually moonwalk. It's not really moonwalking, you basically walk backwards. And so you can actually use that as positioning for certain enemies in this game. It's especially good against those shield and axe guys. I guess those are actually the axe armor knights that have been around since the very first Castlevania, but they seem to change their look in a lot of iterations of Castlevania. And this is going to be meat, I believe. Yep, very good. Definitely needed that. Now, one thing that is kind of nice about this game, you do have some mid-air control if you just jump straight up. And that's actually a really useful mechanic on this section in particular. You use it to kind of stay on the gears. There you go. Alright, cool. Should be the lead up to the boss fight. And now, I totally forgot, but we're going to get to fight Death, or the Grim Reaper. If I didn't get the key and get to the alternate levels, we would fight a different boss. And actually, the alternate boss, not Death, would be a boss that has some patterns that are a little bit like Shaft in Rondo of Blood. The first Shaft fight, where it's a boss rush. But now we get to fight Death. And this is actually a good fight. And we've got the axe, which is just gonna annihilate him. And another little mechanic I haven't talked about is you can actually attack and then duck. If you time it just right, you will swing your whip, but also duck and attack. And it can do a slightly, like, a mid-based attack. So if you think of this like a fighting game, you got high, you've got mids, and you got lows. And it's a little bit like that. And if you find yourself, like, you know, attacking, but, you know, you need to switch over to, you know, the low position, then you can actually do that in this. It's neat. Oh, that is not good. I might end up dying here. Yeah, one of the things about fighting Death in this one is he is, there we go, very nice. Hell yeah. The arena is much smaller in this game than it is in Rondo of Blood. In Rondo of Blood, you fight him on, like, the mast of a pirate ship. Or a ghost ship or something like that. And it spans multiple screens, whereas in this, it's barely one screen. So, yeah. Interesting twist. I actually really like that. I like the similarities to Rondo of Blood, and I like the differences as well. It just makes for kind of like this oddly weird, unique experience. Alright, final level. So this level is actually pretty short, but there are some gimmicks to it. Ideally, I get through it without dying, because I need as many hearts as I can get for the final boss. Otherwise, the final boss is a major pain in the butt. This is one of the most notoriously difficult Castlevania final boss fights. Thankfully, the level is short to compensate. Whoa, there. Was not expecting him to dive all the way down like that. It's very much like my cat, Milo. It's unpredictable. Alright, let's come on over here. I could probably snipe this guy from a distance. Why not? Now some of these walls you can actually bust open. I'm gonna try to hit this guy from down below. And I believe one of them even has an extra life hidden within it. Just trying to take it nice and slow here. Not trying to rush. Basically what we do is we go to the top and we go to the left. And then there will be one more hallway and then we'll be at the final boss. It's not good because those are spikes up top. And that's not good. I knew that was going to happen. There we go. I knew one of them had something in them. Oh, jeez, Medusas. There we go. One up. There's a very good chance I'll need that. Now, if I wanted to, I could actually loop back to the very beginning. Which, honestly, it's not a half bad idea. So I don't really want to fall down here, but I did that intentionally so I can maybe try to get my health back. And there's a potion. Makes you invincible for a short period of time, which is actually really good for this part. And I don't think I can go through here. I have to go backwards. That's okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and just loop this so I can get all my health back, because I don't think there's a health refill past this. Unfortunately, all these pole knights have reappeared. And there we go. Yeah, see, back to the beginning. And that's how you can get the cross, if you want the cross. Or the boomerang, whatever you want to call it. Alright, now hopefully we can get back without losing a lot of health. Again, ideally we get to Dracula with full health. Okay, so we try this again. Just take our time. There we go. Alright, sweet. Alright, so the trick here is to... Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. That was my fault. That was totally my fault. Man. Alright, try this again. It's not that hard. I don't know why I jumped forward like that. Okay. So I want to jump straight up. And I screwed it up. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Alright, let's try this again. Man, this has been an interesting run. This is definitely not nearly as smooth as my other Castlevania playthroughs this month. There's probably people out there face-palming right now, like, what is this guy doing? Alright, just use my axe, there we go. And the reason I want that is just to kind of get through here easier. Boom, just like that. Oh, and I still took a hit. You gotta be kidding me. All that work for nothing. Alright, lead up to Dracula. I do prefer the axe for this fight. Now, there is actually a health refill on the far left-hand side of this arena, but I kind of I'm gonna sit over towards the right-hand side. Alright, it's focus time. 1, 2, 3. So again, I've got, you know, a lot of hearts to work with, so I can actually throw multiple axes. And if you think you're gonna get hit on this fight, the trick is to duck. Remember, no knockback when you're ducking. It's going to be very important for the next form. Dracula actually has 2 forms. It's the second one that's really tough. Sometimes you get close to him and just do that. Smack him in the face. And if he spawns off screen, I just let him do his thing. I just try to, you know, get to safety. 1, 2, 3. There we go. If I can get him to spawn on the right-hand side, that would be ideal. Well, that's actually not a bad spot either. I don't think I've ever, like, killed him with a item crash. That's actually a really nice little strategy I'd never even thought to try. Alright, now let's be careful and not kill ourselves at the very end. Boom. First try on Dracula, that's a really good feeling, because if you die and you lose all your hearts, you don't have enough hearts to do, like, multiple axes back to back rapidly, and that's key to winning that fight, is just having lots of hearts, having the axe, and just taking advantage of that, the fact you can throw a lot back to back. And we got the best ending too. And there's Maria peeking through her hands. That's cute. Castlevania with heart. But that was Castlevania Dracula X, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that playthrough. That was definitely an interesting playthrough for me, because I expected it to go a lot smoother than it did. But it was still fun. You know, I actually learned some things as I played it. I learned some new strategies, which is interesting. Even on Dracula there at the very end, it's like item crashing for the last hit. It's like, why did I never think of that? That's a really good idea. You know, item crashing makes you invincible for a short period of time, so you don't have to worry about taking a hit and falling into the pit. So, very cool. Oh, man. Yeah, so hopefully, for those of you guys that are regulars to my channel, hopefully you've been enjoying these Castlevania videos this month in October. If you have been, post a comment down below and tell me so. It's always great hearing from you guys when I post. It's Castlevania in particular, and you guys are like, oh man, best time of the year. I love these games. I love these videos. I love Castlevania content. And I just love hearing that, because it's, like I said, it's my favorite franchise out there. So I love doing these playthroughs for you guys. It's fun. So I'm thinking about trying to do some other Castlevanias. I originally wasn't going to do a lot of Castlevania this month. I mean, I was going to do some, but not as many videos as I have been doing. So I might try to tackle Castlevania Adventure Rebirth on the Wii, as some of you guys have suggested. I might try some of the Game Boy ones again. And I might even try Castlevania Chronicles. So, and like I mentioned earlier, I will most likely be trying Castlevania 3. Yeah, so next video will probably actually be Castlevania 3. I'm probably going to actually record it right after this, so stay tuned for that. And stay tuned for more content and streams. I do plan on doing some more streams too, so watch out for those this month. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. Thanks again for watching. If you're new to my channel, consider subscribing. I've got tons of videos like this on my channel, so if you like this sort of thing, I think you'll feel right at home here with my back catalog. And for everybody already subbed, thanks for your continued support. I do appreciate it. And again, hopefully you enjoyed this one. I guess with that, guys, I'm out. And until the next one, take it easy.